Have you ever looked at those influencers and wondered, man, why are they keep rubbing this designer stuff in my face when they know the economy sucks and I can't afford it? Don't you just hate that? And you're like, stop it! How would you like to have something that not even they will have because it is your own custom artwork on your own custom sweatshirts? That's right. The cores bought from Costco, my own custom art that I've drawn up myself, put it on the computer, and stuck them on. How about for less than 30 bucks? And then the influencer will be looking at you being like, where do I buy that? You can't, sucker. You have to get your hands dirty. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's go, DIY everything. Custom art sweatshirt edition. Bam, let's roll. Bam! So I got a bug up my ass to make my own custom sweatshirts today using my original artwork. That's right, I do traditional art, just like any of you guys at home. This is of course one of my sketchbooks here. I got a few different pieces, but the ones I'm thinking most likely to do is gonna be this favorite piece right here. That is my infamous Laugh Then Cry piece. Actually kind of designed after a prison tattoo, which I don't have. I've never been to prison, but I thought it was an awesome design. So I did this in charcoal and chalk. Now, of course, we're gonna have to convert this over to electronic media so we can actually print it onto that paper like we used in the holiday DIY sweatshirt video and transfer it over to a couple of sweatshirts I got from Costco on the cheap. And I think it's gonna be pretty freaking awesome. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is one piece I'm going to use, but I think the other options are going to be, some out of here. So these are ones I already have up on electronic version and already have the colors uprated. I have quite a few cool little pieces here, just of course dark charcoal sketches. This one was actually commissioned by a community college over in Connecticut. They wanted to do a Judas Iscariot play. They wanted to use this for their playbill. And it was pretty freaking awesome. I'm glad I got to do it for them. And then of course I have some other ones here. I got the Jiving with the Music here. Again, another very colorful piece I really enjoy. I got more fantasy pieces here, all kinds of goodies here. That one is actually part of a book I'm actually kind of writing and illustrating. That's going to be a process to get that done. It ain't going to come out anytime soon. This one's just for fun. Look at them freaking kiwis. They look insane. Anyway, let's see, out of all the ones I already have, ooh, this one I like here. This one I actually did on a canvas print here and gifted over to a fuzzy mama. She loves this one hanging over the fireplace. But I think I'm going to go with the Laugh Then Cry, which I have now already in electronic format with the colors already upsaturated, because you will have to upsaturate in order to get the colors to actually go onto especially a darker sweatshirt, darker fabric. You're gonna need it to not bleed through or have the fabric bleeding through and have your colors kind of bleaching out. So you're basically gonna have to crank it up a little bit. As you can see, the original piece, not that much different, but it is more muted because this is, well, chalk. So you're gonna have to kind of bump it up a little bit. So we're gonna go with this one for, I believe, the green sweatshirt I have. I think I'm gonna go on the front of the sweatshirt with this one. I think that'll look pretty cool. Actually, no. Sorry. This one is actually going to be on the silvery sweatshirt that I got. I'll show you that next here. It's going to go on the back, I think. And then up on the kind of greenish one, they're going to put the egg up here. The So Not a Morning Person. Original I don't have anymore because I gave this one, the original, to Fuzzy Bro and his girl for their housewarming present. I thought it was a pretty cool little art piece. She's also an artist too, so she kind of likes this kind of stuff. So I thought that would be a cool gift. So they have the original, but I do have the copies. That's always important. If you're going to do any sort of art, make sure you have prints and copies in case somebody else needs them or you want to sell them off to some other purpose. So keep them. Never get rid of them. But I do have quite a few of my original pieces left. I have a whole drawer full over here, and then I have another shelf up there with all kinds of art and everything going on there. Kind of crazy. Yeah, I'm pretty busy, but we're going to go with that, and we're going to go with Laugh Then Cry. That one. I think that's going to look pretty cool. So here is what you're going to end up needing next to do this process. Boom, boom. Well, you're going to need some sweatshirts, of course, to do this, right? So I think this nice kind of thin, silvery one would make that purple pop a lot more on the Laugh Then Cry. And I think that's going to go here on the back side of the sweatshirt. I think that's going to look hella sick. And then up here on the green, I think the egg color is going to work much better. Now this one is my Adidas, and we're gonna go ahead and pop her on right here, smack dab in the front, and I think that's just gonna look freaking sick. So you're gonna need that, of course, and then you're gonna need that type of special printer paper that transfers over the fabric. Now this you guys have seen already in my holiday sweatshirts, holiday Christmas DIY, full-length episode. We're gonna see it here again today. $30 for 15 sheets, gives you a lot of options. They do light fabric and dark. I recommend the dark because it prints a little bit heavier with the colors, transfers better even to light fabrics. Is what we used even for those white sweatshirts. Does a great job. 30 bucks. You get 15 out of it. I mean, you could do a shit ton with this. Tell you what. And that's going to come important here in a second as I explain kind of why I'm showing you how to do it this way versus the other way where you can do it, which is actually going to my store and buying it. I'm going to show you guys how to even circumvent even paying me money for a very specific reason. I brought the prices down as low as I possibly can, but to have a third party produce them in mass, it's expensive. It's 70 bucks for a sweatshirt. That's a little too much. So I'm going to show you guys even how to circumvent me, so you don't have to even give me money to do it on your own and make your own cool custom pieces. Because 70 bucks, I mean, sure, that's not super outrageous, but it's not really kosher either. That's too much. I'm going to show you how to do it for $30 investment, plus a sweatshirt, plus a little time and creativity. You're going to get by with way less, because now you can do 15 sweatshirts or 15 different items instead of buying just one. So let's get on it. All right. So now that you got your paper loaded into your printer, just a normal inkjet printer, you don't need nothing fancy. You got to just take the rest of your paper out, load that singular sheet at a time. Now here's what you're going to do next. You're going to come up to whatever picture you want. Make sure you adjust all your colors. And of course you can use Canvas or Canva or whatever the heck you use, or Designer in this case with Microsoft. I like to do that. Just uprate your colors, uprate your saturation, because you will need it when you're doing the transferring. Now once you get that done, you got it to where you like it. It looks like it's going to pop pretty sweet. Go ahead and head over here to your print side here. Oops, print up here. There we go. Print. Now you're going to have to, of course, orient it to be portrait, because of course it's going to be portrait. Now you don't have to bump it all the way to the ends of the margins here, just to make sure you don't like have a runoff on your edge there, because you can trim this down with scissors. Pretty straightforward and easy to do. I might just push this up a little bit bigger. All right, so now of course you're going to have to go to, from plain paper, you're going to have to go and select your particular paper that you need. Now this is an Avery, and it tells you on the packaging there what kind of Avery it is. Now if you don't find it here on your setup, it's perfectly fine. All you got to do is just go here to other photo inkjet papers. That's it. Not matte, not glossy, none of that. Just go other photo. Bam, you good. You're done. Now let's go ahead and shrink the fit. Now we want fill page. Let's go uniform to make it a little easier to cut. That looks pretty sick right there. All right. Now all you got to do is let her rip, tater chip, and hope for the best. Here we go. All right, let's go check it out. How it's doing. Oh yeah, she's coming out pretty super sexy right there. Look at that. Looking pretty sweet. Hopefully I put the paper in the right way and I didn't print on the back side of it. That would be something, wouldn't it? All right, well, let's just stand by. We'll speed this up and play some music and watch her come out. Here we go.
Oh, good.
Good thing I just, had to flip it over just to double check, make sure I actually printed on the right side there, because you're going to have to peel this backer off here. Is that the backing side? I hope that was the backing side. Yes, it was. Okay, good. And there you go, man. She's looking hot and sexy. Look at that. Damn. That looks good. Now you're going to have to let this chill for a minute, so that way the colors stabilize into the fabric and into that paper over there. Because you don't want it to just like come off willy-nilly and like start running everywhere. Now, in the meantime, you can go ahead and take your next sheet right here. You got tissue paper in here too to do the ironing part. I'll show you what to do with the tissuing paper next here. Pop her down. Now, I see if you would need to know which one this is here. If you do have that option, like if you have more Avery selections, you're going to be needing, where is it? Yeah, here you go, Avery 3279. But if you don't, like I said, just other photo paper, not gloss, not matte. And we want to make sure you don't have any other papers in there. And just load it into your feeder right there, into your hopper. All right, let's go ahead and print the egg. Now, you've already seen how to do that, so I'm just going to run the egg. In the meantime, I'll get everything else set up, and we'll go on and we'll put this on the sweatshirts. Let's go. All right, let's get So Not a Morning Person up and ready to go. Now, let me show you guys how to do this here real quick in case you don't know. I'm going to use Microsoft Designer. This is my particular software I like to use. You go on there, you make sure you trim, you do all your stuff. I like this line in here because I did this art pieces to be kind of like an old, like, faded kind of photo look to it. So that's kind of the way I wanted it. That's the way the original is. So you can go into there. So you saw how I did it. You go up in there to adjust. And you can go up here, adjust brightness. This is going to be on a dark green. I wanted to stand out a little bit. Contrast to make it pop a little heavier. See how that's changing up. Really, really nice. Getting that shading popping. Saturation. This is a big thing here. You kind of want to get your sat up a little bit. Not all the way. You don't want to make it look egregious. But remember, it's going to wash out a little bit as it goes onto the actual fabric. Now, highlights here, let's get highlights up a little bit. Sharpness I'm going to leave down because I do like this sort of kind of grain look to it. Shadows I'm going to pick up a little bit there. Man, that looks hot and sexy. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. You can't tell me nothing. 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 Ba-bam. So now we're going to go ahead and cut back. Oh, not undo, sorry. Damn shit. All right, now we're going to go ahead and close this one down. And we're going to have to open up that file that we just saved. And you can see the difference here. Look at that. See how much like faded out that one looks a little bit more. That one's like perfect for like a normal print. But for a sweatshirt, oops, damn shit. All right, but see over here, well, for like a sweatshirt, you're going to need it popping a lot more. Because you saw already even how Laugh and Then Cry already looks a lot more faded just on that paper alone. Now imagine you're putting it on a dark fabric. Remember, this is going to go on the green, not on the silver. So we need this to be a little heavier. And you could do this with just photos. Again, link below, and you'll see the holiday sweatshirt DIY video where I show you how to take just a normal family photo and make it into something absolute custom. I'll link that in the description as well. So don't forget to check that out. But we're going to do this with our own custom artwork that otherwise you guys would have to spend like 70 bucks to buy. I'm going to show you how to cheat even me so you get it for free. That's how much I love y'all, especially in this economy. Woo! Economy, economy. Why the hell are you all the way over there? Yeah, uniform. There you go. Yeah, if it bumps over like that, just go uniform margin. All right, fill page. That looks pretty sexy right there. Plain paper. Nope. Remember, you got to go other photo inkjet papers. Ba-ba-bang. Unless, of course, you have the Avery 3279 available on your computer. If you don't, this will work just fine. As you already saw it in one other video, and I see it again, it'll work perfectly good. You'll be A-okay. Or it'll be egg-okay, I should say. Anyway, print! Ba-bam. Well, let's go ahead and check that guy out and let's set up for the next part. All right, so there you go. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit overly satted, right? That's how it kind of looks like here. But remember, this is going to go on a dark fabric, and the fabric color is going to bleed through. And you want to have all those little details kind of poking out. So you're going to lose a little bit of your shadow there, but it's going to come back as you put it onto your piece. And look at that. It gives you that kind of like a 3D look. Now just imagine this on a dark fabric, which you will get to see in just a few minutes here. And that's going to look pretty damn sexy. All right, let's go and let's pop them on the sweatshirts. Let's stop jabbering. Let's do something. Let's go. Ba-ching! Yeah. Watcha. So here are the other materials that you're going to be needing for this particular process. You don't need a press. You don't need a Cricut. You don't need none of that. All you're going to need here is, of course, your sweatshirt, an ironing board. Sure you lay this sucker out. You're going to need a pair of gizzards. And you're going to need yourself a tape measure because you want to be as centered as possible on your particular piece. So let's go ahead and get her arranged to where we want it to be. I feel like kind of from just between the shoulder blades down to be just a few inches maybe above the base here would be kind of ideal. Now it can still be seen even if the hood is flipped back. I want to go maybe just a wee bit higher, not by much, right about there. Make sure she sits nice and flush, smooth everything out. You don't want to have a crinkle or a wrinkle popping up in there. Wang, bang, ain't no tang. No tang, no tang. Boom. All right, now the next part is we're going to have to cut our piece to size. Let's go ahead and just dry fit for right now. See if we kind of are getting to where we want to get to. Kind of want to come up just a wee bit higher there. Let's go ahead and pull this back just a little bit. This is going to be the fiddly bit here, is you're going to have to kind of play around with it until you get the exact positioning. Because you only got one shot to stick this thing on. See, there's the top of the sweatshirt there. Come on, go a little bit higher up. All right. Yeah, something kind of like that. Let's go ahead and unroll all that stuff there. Bam, 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 like that. Okay, now that looks like a lot better of a dry fit right there. I think about right there, kind of between the shoulder blades and down. That'd be perfect. Cool beans, the submarines. Now let's pack the sucker off to the side for now. Make sure this is all smoothed out. Smoothed. You don't want to have no crinkles in your wrinkles. Hey, get out of there, you. Now let's go ahead and trim to our tight border here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to have to... Oh yeah, that's going to be perfect. I like it. I like it like that. Of course, you want it to look good, so you also have to kind of eyeball it. Even if it's not going to be necessarily exact. Sometimes per exact measurement, just to how the garment is cut or something, it may not look as good. So you have to kind of balance between eyeballing and also balancing your measurements as well. All right, let's go ahead and go from up here. See from the bottom of the collar there. Let's go to a full 3.5. I think that'll be ideal. That way we can flip the hood back. Bang. All right, that's perfect right there. Let's go from side to side. Let's go from the far side here. We got about 8.5 on that one. That's why it's also important to measure out your fabric. So we got 7.5 there, so we have to bump over. Let's go about 8 exactly right there. Good. Let's see over here again. 8 exactly. Good. Now from the upper side here, we got 2 3/4, 2 1/2. So see, we're not quite balanced there. Actually, no, sorry, 2.5. What the hell? Math ain't mathing, you. I'm gonna just pivot it just a wee bit right there. You can even tell it visually doesn't look exactly 100% straight either. I need to go over just a wee bit more here. Bam. Bam. That looks pretty sexy. Now I'm going to adjust just visually now that I have it kind of more or less in the place I want it. Just to make sure it gives me that visual look that I'm looking for. Yeah, just like that. All right. Now you just got your iron. Well, actually, sorry, first, before you do that, it comes inside of this packaging here. You have tissue papers. This is very, very imperative. You need to lay your tissue paper over the top of your piece. Now, this goes face up. You're not putting your piece face down. Because remember, the whole thing is an applique that goes all together here. So now what you're going to do is you're going to grab yourself an iron. Again, does not have to be steam capable. I have it filled with water because I have another project coming up here. Now what the heck happened? Turned itself off because I waited too long. I like to set it to wool. Now wool is nice because it's a high heat, but it's not an aggressive dry heat. It's a little bit moister. I don't know why. Just wool just seems to work best. I just do wool. It needs to be hot and you need to have some pressure on this thing. But you yourself are going to be the press instead of using a press. Let's wait for this guy to heat up and we'll go ahead and get on it. Well, that new iron heated up pretty quick. I already got the egg ready in the meantime. But we also now have the iron ready. So make sure it's all green and ready to rock and roll. And here we go. Make sure I don't lose any water because this is full of water because I need to do a steam project as well. Now what you're going to do is you're going to start kind of from the middle here. Place it down. And let it start adhering. I'm just going to gently work out to your edges here. That we don't have a curling action happening. Oh, I don't want the steam. I don't want the steam. Don't want the steam. Ooh, I did not anticipate for the steam to kick in like that. I forgot I had the steamer on. Shit. All right, there we go. Don't want the steam in. Yeah, for this you don't want the steam kicking in. Just want the heat and the pressure. So you're going to run your edges. Anchor all your points here. Make sure you got all your points anchored because this is the spot where it can lift up the most. Takes about 2 minutes for each full sheet to fully adhere. So you're just going to work your way around, work your way around, work your way to all the corners here, work your way to all the corners, work your way to all the corners. Now you can go ahead and start pushing. Hey, turned off now? What the heck? There we go. Oh, I pushed the cord, that's why. All right. This thing has a little bit of a broken cord there, so I have to be careful how I push it. I push it. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and put some pressure on it. Just light pressure. Come down, come down, come down. Now, as long as you're not leaving it sitting in one spot, you're not going to burn your piece. But just move it around, move it around. Even if you go a little bit beyond 2 minutes, that's perfectly fine. Not going to really gain much of anything by doing that. But you ain't going to really hurt much of anything by doing that either. Make sure you really seal those edges down because those edges are where it can start peeling up if you put it through a cycle, a wash cycle. Make sure you hit up that part here. Now careful when you touch this thing because it will be hot. The whole applique is going to be hot, of course. just keep working it, working it, working it. Work it, baby, work it. Work it, baby, work it. And turned off again. All right, let her heat up. Hey. Actually, that should be pretty damn good. Let's see if it applied all the way. Feels like it did. Ooh, that is quite spicy. I'm going to do one more pass over here, just to make sure that we got her in full. Go ahead and wait for this thing to heat up again. There we go. I'm going to run the edges one last time here, because it felt like that top edge here could potentially start coming down a little bit, which we don't want. Okay. Let her cool off just for a minute here. For a quick second, I mean. Let's peel her back. You can't tell me that don't look sick. Hey, look at that. Yeah, it's fully applied now. Good. I don't feel no edges. Feels pretty in line with the rest of the fabric. Careful, because it's going to be hot. And now you're going to have to lay this out to cool. You can either hang it directly up, or you can just lay it out flat to cool. We're going to transfer this over because I want to go to the egg piece next. So we're going to need this space here. And ideally you want to let your workspace cool as well too, but my workspace is not very warm at all, which is great. I'm going to move this over and lay her flat for the time being. Now we move on to the egg. How exciting. You can see, look at that. Look how cool that looks. See, it doesn't come up or nothing. Flexible. Edges don't come up. You want to just test it, because now's the time where you can go ahead and reapply if you need to. Can't tell me that don't look sick. I mean, look at that. Custom hoodie, baby. I could have even just put it on the front. Maybe I will next time. Put it up on the front side, but I thought maybe on the back it would look a little more appropriate. Now, this is a much thicker sweatshirt. That one is kind of a thin indoor sweatshirt. This is more of like your thick outdoor sweatshirt here. Of course, it's an Adidas. Adidas. Okay, I want to make sure we're sitting kind of straight here. Okay, stretch this out as much as possible. So she's evened out. Okay, let's go ahead and dry fit. That looks cool. I think right about there looks pretty sick. All right, let's go ahead and measure. So we want to be just shy of, from this far corner here, about 2 on that corner. About 2 right there, a little bit off. Cut may not be exactly straight either. There we go. About 2 there. About 2 there. Looks pretty good. More important to be from the base here, because the base is going to catch your eye more than the neckline. It'll be about 1.5 inches here on the base. Because with the base, you have the bunny hug pocket. Because you have a direct flat seam there. It's going to catch your eye more if it's not sitting straight than up at the collar line. So that's going to be your main priority to line that up with. So we're about even at 8 to that seam there. Way off, so we need to go way further this way. No, first of all, I forgot to even peel the backing. Better do that first, because otherwise you're going to have to move this thing again. All right, let's go ahead and get this peeled off. You want to make sure you get all that paper off. You don't want to have any of that paper sitting there, stuck there, because you see I have a little bit of a torn piece there. I'm going to have to be very careful that I remove. There we go. Got that little piece there, which is good. Good. At least now we got our dry fit kind of figured out. Ba-bam. Look at that. Okay. Make sure we actually put it right side up. That might help. There we go. Okay, this needs to come down just a wee bit over about there. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and first get our sides done here. We're way too far on that end there, aren't we? So we're about 7. This needs to come over a little bit more. I don't want to cover up the Adidas logo. I want to be just right up on it. There to about, still not quite centered here. We're about 7 1/4. Over here we are about, we're about there actually. It's just not going to be 100% exact. Oops, sorry. Actually, no, we're dead on. All right, cool. Let's measure up our base. Make sure our base is looking good. We got 1.5 inches almost. This needs to go up just a wee bit here. Needs to rotate just a wee bit. 1.5 inches. A little bit under 1.5 inches. Let's come down just a wee bit here. About right there. About right there. That looks pretty sick. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and throw on a new sheet of sheet paper. A sheet of sheet. Well, sheet. Sheet of tissue paper because the other one kind of curled up on me there. There we go. All right, make sure you don't get your cord hung up here. Cool. Make sure this sits flat. And now you're going to go ahead and again start from the center. Because you want to anchor it. You need to anchor it in place first. So I usually start from the center. This way I can work out any wrinkles and crinkles. Go ahead and work up to the edges here. On the far edges is where you want to spend a little bit more time to make sure that it's not going to just roll up on you. So even if your thing turns off, you still have enough residual heat to continue doing the job until she heats up again. Again from the center, we're going to roll it way outwards. So we anchor those upper edges there, anywhere where it can potentially be flexed and peeled. And it shouldn't peel off anymore, but just to give yourself that added security. All the way down over here. So make sure you get those, anchor those corners and anchor those edges. All the way across. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Exciting. And again, you don't want to leave it sitting for too long on one particular spot. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah. You see what I mean? That big difference there? When it's on just the backing paper, it looks like it's way washed out, right? We didn't even see this detail up here of the tabletop, none of the shading detail, none of the brush stroke detail. But as soon as you put it on a dark piece of heavy fabric, it pops right through. That's what I'm saying, that you need to really up the kind of contrast, up your brightness, and then up your sat. On the plain paper, on the plain backing, if it looks like it's on the overdone side, just barely, that's when you know you're going to be transferring very well onto your fabric piece. There you go. I mean, look at that. Perfect. It's well anchored. Nothing coming up. Again, you can always reapply if you need to. Now, careful, of course, it's hot. Whew, foot stuff, foot stuff. All right, well, let's go ahead and pack her over to let her dry or let her cool. And then we'll go ahead and hang them up and then let them just cure for a couple of hours. You don't really need to do that step, but I found if you do that, then it seems to anchor them really, really well, and everything's kind of like molds into the fabric. Does a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and hang these guys up on a rack. Just let them cool. Space between them. Let that nice ventilation go through, and it should be rocking solid. I mean, look how cool that is, man. Look how cool that is. I mean, can you imagine yourself rocking with this custom piece right here? Like it's or any of your custom artwork, man. Look at that, showing up to work like that and saying I'm not a morning person. Well, no kidding, man. Look at that. Now you can see, now this is also the time where you're going to test your corners and your anchoring. You're going to crinkle it, you're going to wrinkle it, and make sure it's hanging in there. Beautiful. Look at that sucker. Cool. Let's go ahead and hang these suckers up and let them go. And that's it, gang. That's super, super easy. Just basic DIY, man. I'm not, you see, I'm even showing you how to circumvent paying me money. Now you don't have to spend 70 bucks on a sweatshirt that's custom with my custom art pieces or your own custom art pieces. 30 bucks, 15 sheets, get a Costco sweatshirt. And I mean, check that out. I mean, who else is going to be having this? You, that's who else. And you didn't even have to pay me 70 bucks. I only make like 30 cents off of each of those sweatshirts, man. That's how low I had to bring the prices down just to make them attainable. It's still 70 bucks. That's not even kosher, man. That's not even cool. This, I'm going to show you DIY way. You don't even need to pay me. Do it for free. Make your own custom pieces. I mean, let's go check out the other one too here. I mean, just look at this. Who else is gonna have custom art piece sweatshirts? That ain't nobody else got. Check that shit out. Anyway, you're more than welcome to check out my shop if you want. I got some more custom pieces, more custom art, more custom whatever. But I also want to be conscientious of the economy and what's going on right now. Everybody's got it tough right now. But I still want to show you guys the budget way to attain everything that you want and need in the most friendly, economic, and DIY way, right? That's what we do here. Anyway, check out the other video if you're interested in how to do holiday sweatshirts or convert photos into this exact same philosophy here. And don't forget to check out the rest of the DIY Everything playlist where we're going to cover everything you need to know to survive the economy and also thrive at the same damn time. People will look at you and say like, what's he doing? What's he doing that is doing so good? You know, I gotta tell them. Just tell them to hit subscribe on my channel. That's the only thing I ask of you. Anyway, see you all next time. Stay wild. Woo!